April 5th, Tony Khan made a huge announcement. This wasn't like the ones that came before it, and while memes, jokes, and the like were made, this time it was huge. On Sunday, August the 27th, AEW will host All In London at Wembley Stadium, the first show of its kind in over 30 years. My name is Troy, and today I am joined by Jay to fantasy book the card for what could be the biggest attended wrestling show on UK soil. Jay, how are you, mate?
I am okay. I went to Wrestle Island yesterday and booed Scott Oman a lot. So my voice, pretty much, I got a dirty look from like someone who's like a few rows in front of me because I was booing him that much. But
you got good reason to boo him. It's fine.
Yeah, he attacked my boy Joe Kessler, so allegedly. So
allegedly,
yeah. But yeah, I'm good other than that. How
good
about
man.
yourself?
Yes, mate. Not bad at all. Battling with a bit of a chest infection, but yeah, we'll persevere.
This is definitely the first time we've recorded this as well.
Definitely, just once.
just once. So quickly to go through the parameters that we have set for this. It is a 10 to 13 match card, including pre-shows. You have 7 Forbidden Door picks, which is basically an easy way of saying people who aren't regularly work for another company, essentially, like a mainstream company. You can have an extra 2 of them within a battle royal and 2 indie teams. 2 indie picks as well. Each individual pick is like representative. So if you've got a tag team, that's 2 picks essentially. 3 gimmick matches. So anything that is not one fall to a finish. In other words, it's like a ladder match, an Iron Man match, tables match, etc. And also, if you want, you can include surprises and Tony Khan, huge announcements. I'm sure there'll be none of that nonsense in mine.
Cocaine fuel special announcements.
Tony just squeaking that we're coming back. We're coming back. But yeah, shall I get started?
Yes, mate. Have you got a pre-show?
I've got 2 matches on my pre-show.
Oh, go on then.
It was very tricky to find 2 matches to put on the pre-show. Initially, I was going to do no pre-show, but
brave.
But I thought if I did that, I'd struggle to kind of like fit these in on the card. Whereas these 2 can kind of just slot in the pre-show quite nicely. So the opening match, defending her newly won TBS championship, Taya Valkyrie against Saraya.
Nice.
Get the crowd hot with a UK talent to get from the get-go.
Perfect hot start. Really good.
Yeah, I think this is kind of like a low-key dream match as well, isn't it? Because it's like 2 like the best women's wrestlers around.
Yeah.
Taya is she hasn't yet, but she's probably going to be the person to the throne. Jade, the way things are going.
Just about to say, like the way you've booked that, is that your thoughts on it, or does it actually look like that's likely to be the picture?
It feels like they're definitely doing a match at Double or Nothing. I feel like Jade has kind of done everything she can with the TBS title and needs to move on to something else.
Yeah.
And Taya's a already established name who can kind of take that belt and keep moving it forward, as opposed to someone winning it off Jade and for like the sort of big rub and then them not really knowing what to do. Taya's like just a good pick to kind of to progress that belt further.
Good shout.
And Saraya, because she's a heel,
because
but
it's fucking Saraya and is in London.
Yeah.
Great opener. Love that.
Yeah. Next, I've got a fatal 4-way for the AEW International Championship.
Right.
And it's Orange Cassidy defending against Kip Sabian, Mark Briscoe, and Swerve.
Ooh.
And I did it like that because it kind of like leaves the window open for Orange Cassidy to win, but it also leaves the window open that Kip could win by way of Swerve doing a murder on Mark Briscoe and then just what have you.
Yeah.
Since I booked this as well, Swerve become the new leader of the embassy, so you could always have some like embassy based shenanigans at ringside.
Yeah.
Prince Nana doing monstrous things to Mark Briscoe, just being a shit.
A shit of a man.
Yeah, I'd probably have Orange retaining that.
Okay. Why?
because I feel like the story with it is that Orange is going to lose against someone because he's basically took on too much and worn himself out.
Right.
Like
Okay.
that's the way they're going. So at the moment he's sort of feuding with the House of Black.
Okay.
And he injured his hand he went to Superman Punch Buddy, and Buddy held up his trios title, so Orange injured his hand.
Okay.
And now Buddy's basically just hunting him.
Right.
So, but it basically Orange kind of like the sort of narrative that like Excalibur's been sort of pushing on commentary is how much more like how much longer can Orange hold this belt? Like he's literally like defending it all the time. He's wearing himself out, and I feel like this is kind of like another sort of way to add to that story.
Mm-hmm.
By obviously 3 very capable opponents.
Yeah.
And Orange may be getting through by like the skin of his teeth.
Makes sense. Good stuff. Did you say who was winning the first one? Sorry, I forget between.
Tyra will retain that.
Retain. Okay, cool.
I think if she's not long won the belt, it makes sense for Tyra to retain.
Hold it. Yeah, fair enough. Both of those sound like cracking openers. Love that. And good to see some UK talent in the first 2 openers as well. Really build the crowd up. So that's your pre-show.
Yep.
What have you got opening your big main show?
I've got the TNT Championship being defended in a steel cage.
Ooh.
And it'll be Powerhouse Hobbs against Ricky Starks.
Oh wow, okay.
Just a nice way to sort of like put a cherry on top of their like sort of like on again, off again feud.
Yeah, I mean it's been ongoing for at least a year, maybe more.
Yeah, and they've kind of drifted away because at the moment Ricky Starks has got bigger fish to fry and Jay White.
Yeah.
But I feel like they've been building Ricky up to the point where I don't necessarily think he needs a belt right now. Certainly not the TNT Championship, but I think it's a good way to get the crowd hyped. Ricky winning it goes a long way to kind of rehabbing that TNT title, which has been sort of struggling ever since Cody lost it, like second time.
Since then.
I'd say so. Like there was the whole Sammy, Cody, and Scorpio, then Sammy and Scorpio Sky stuff.
Oh god, yeah, the back and forth.
It was just dragging its heels for a while. Right. And then, don't get me wrong, Sammy's first title reign was fantastic, and so was Cody's second when he won it back, as brief as it was.
What about Joe's reign? He had it for a bit, didn't he?
Yeah, but again, like Wardlow and Joe holding it, it just kind of felt like it was
a bit lackluster.
It felt more like a prop for that feud as opposed to. Whereas Powerhouse Hobbs is doing a really good job of kind of like making it mean more, and also being like an actual murder host that cheats as well and has like QTV like helping him out. I feel like the added steel cage stipulation like keeps them out of it.
Yeah.
It gives a bit more of a definitive end to Ricky and Hobbs because I believe they're 1-1. So Hobbs won the normal singles match and then Ricky won the lights out match.
Okay.
So they haven't had like a third match essentially.
The rubber match, yeah.
And also when Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus opened Full Gear with the steel cage,
that's a great visual.
It really got the crowd hot as well.
Yeah.
The crowd were like molten by the end of that match.
I feel like you don't get many steel cages in AEW either. So like using a stipulation like that sparingly as well really adds to it.
Yeah, they only really bust it out like once, twice at a push a year. So it does feel really important when it is introduced. And that's why I think good way to kind of crown Ricky Starks as the TNT champion is by having him blow off this feud with Hobbs inside of the steel cage.
I like that. Love that. Good stuff. So you've got Starks winning that. Who's your second match on the card?
It is a scramble match for the Ring of Honor Women's Championship.
Nice.
Athena defending against Willow Nightingale, Britt Baker, Ruby Soho, Jade Cargill, Sky Blue, and Toni Storm.
Wow. That's a stacked match. Yeah,
just crazy spots. Obviously, you've got Ruby and Toni are a tag team together. You've got Willow and Sky Blue, just both great. And the interesting thing I've kind of put in there is Britt and Jade, because they've sort of like fired shots at each other in promos, but they've never had that kind of face to face. And I feel like this could be the moment where they do that first, like sort of like stare down, which then gets everyone like
you'd have all of it kicking off, and they all kind of just barrel out to the side of the ring, and it's just those two for a stare down. That and the crowd fucking up for that. I'd love that. That's cool.
Then that can kind of like plant the seeds for like a match between those two, a full gear maybe.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I'd have Athena retain there.
Makes sense.
Because they're basically booking her like the Thanos of the women's division. And I think she's holding that belt for a very long time.
Yeah. Nice. Love that. Love that.
Yeah.
Match number 3 then.
We've got a 30-minute Iron Man match between Bryan Danielson and Zack Sabre Jr.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah, I feel like this is a good way that if they wanted to go down the route of a draw, then to keep like both guys looking strong, that's the way they could feasibly do it.
Yeah.
Also, they can kind of just keep Zack Sabre Jr.'s title out of it, because then obviously there's no sort of like definitive. Well, obviously he's going to win. And also, I love Zack Sabre Jr. and obviously it's Britain. I don't think he should win this. I think Bryan Danielson's like being positioned as this kind of like almost like he's took the leadership role of the Blackpool Combat Club.
Yeah.
And he's like the evil genius behind like the killer's row of like Mox, Claudio, and Yuta.
Yeah.
So I feel like Danielson like winning this is kind of like a big statement victory for the Blackpool Combat Club.
Agreed. Yeah.
And if he uses a screwdriver like he did on Hangman Page, even better.
Sadist.
While screaming amateurs.
You got Brian going over there then. Awesome.
Yeah.
This is quality so far. I'm loving this, man. 4th match then on your card.
I've got a call your shot scramble match. So essentially just a scramble match where the winner gets to challenge for a title of their choice. I feel like this can kind of lead to a couple of like interesting feuds around the card. And I've got Ethan Page, Darby Allin, Jungle Boy, Lance Archer, Keith Lee, Dalton Castle, because we need that entrance.
Yeah.
And Konosuke Takeshita.
Oh.
And
wowee.
I feel like I have Takeshita win that because it's a win over a lot of established names. And also it means that he can essentially challenge a champion of his choosing. I feel like that's like a really good way they've been able to sort of make Takeshita really exciting, is that like when he just like made the save for Bryan against MJF, and he's like, well, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you now. And we got that quality match with MJF and Takeshita. Yeah, I feel like I feel like it's a good kind of launching off point for him to go into other feuds, get a title shot, and yeah, it builds a bit of intrigue for Dynamite the following week, doesn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. Love the sound of that. Another stacked match card, not match card, match card. Yeah, I love that. I love that it's a call your shot match, well, because I feel like Takeshi's kind of built enough stock up in himself to actually warrant being able to challenge for something.
Yeah. And it means that as it gives them the freedom for like him to go after whatever belt, as opposed to you're going after the world champion, you're probably not going to win.
Exactly.
Adds a little bit of kind of like, oh, is he going to do it this time? So, yeah.
Good stuff. Next up then on your card,
Chris Jericho versus Will Ospreay.
Oh wow, it's a marquee match.
I feel like Will Ospreay's like guaranteed to be on the show, and I feel like Jericho's like those two names I had written down for this, either CM Punk or Chris Jericho, because I felt like they're the kind of two biggest sort of dream match opponents that Will Ospreay could have.
Yeah.
And also could feasibly beat in doing so. I feel, as I said about Brian Danielson, he would have been another choice I would have had.
Hmm.
But I feel like they're beating him very sparingly at the moment.
Right.
So whereas Ospreay can kind of pick the win up over Jericho here, it doesn't hurt Jericho because he's a legend. It's one of those matches that, regardless of whether you think it's going to be good or not, it's just like a sort of novelty, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like an exhibition,
it's a dream,
isn't it?
It's a dream match, yeah.
Yeah.
Just
yeah.
Makes sense. And have Ospreay go over here.
Yeah, makes sense. I agree.
Need a Brit to win on the card somewhere.
Of course. Yeah. I think that's one of those matches where like that would put bums on seats if that was the only match announced. People would go, fuck Chris Jericho. Yeah, absolutely. Will Ospreay. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. That's awesome. Exactly. That's a quality shout.
Yeah. Next up, I've got the Ring of Honor Championship on the line. Okay. Newly won at Death Before Dishonor, hopefully, by Eddie Kingston.
All right.
Defending against longtime nemesis Jay White.
Oh.
Because they had an absolute banger earlier in the year, which was Loser Leaves New Japan.
Yeah.
Where Eddie just committed crime on him. Just repeated back fists to Jay White and then murdered him with a Northern Lights bomb. And I think just the promos alone in that were fantastic.
Yeah, they were.
Like Jay White was doing like an interview and Eddie called into the show and started screaming at him and stuff like that. So more of that. Like two of the best promo guys, two absolute hard hitting bastards.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this would just be like a nice sort of like bit of ritualistic murder before the card goes a bit mental.
Oh God! Right, who have you got going over in that then? Before we get to some murder,
I'd have Eddie.
Yeah,
and if he's won it at Death Before Dishonor, that's usually June, July.
Okay,
so
lines up well.
Yeah, this can be kind of like his first defense, like his first sort of life after Claudio defense.
Yeah.
And also I think when there's a little bit of history to it, whatever Eddie's doing, it instantly makes it like more compelling because he's happy to bring that in. Like, you've just got to look at that video package they got Joseph Montecillo to do for the Ring of Honor match with Claudio, which like detailed the entire history.
Yeah.
And like the sit down interview they did with Caprice, where Eddie was like, "Oh yeah, I lived with you. You were a piece of shit to me then. You're a piece of shit to me now," sort of thing. Like, when there's history, Eddie seems a lot more emotionally invested and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's when you get the best Eddie Kingston. And I feel like even though they've not got a lot of history, they've got enough history that there's a clear dislike for one another there that they can sort of really tap into.
Agreed. Sounds awesome. Really good. I was stifling my cough. I don't want people hearing that.
Right.
That sounds cracking. So you say you got some madness lined up next. What's happening?
I've got the last gimmick match on my card.
Okay.
The AEW Trios Championships being defended in Stadium Stampede.
Oh, fucking yes.
So it's Wembley Stadium.
It's Wembley Stadium. Of course you've got to.
I initially wrote this down as Anarchy in the Arena. I was like, it's Wembley Stadium. It's going to be Stadium Stampede. So I basically just got like a nice like collection of my favorite murder boys and the Hung Bucks in there. So Faye's going to have a really shit time if this happens. So it's House of Black defending against Death Triangle, La Faction Ingobernable, the team of Roosh, Preston Vance, and Drew Listico. Blackpool Combat Clubs, Mox, Claudio, and Utah. United Empires, Jeff Cobb and Aussie Open. And then the aforementioned Hung Bucks, the team of Hangman Page and the Young Bucks. And because it's Stadium Stampede, it'll be mental, won't it?
Yeah.
Like they always are. Like I want to see Roosh just murdering everybody and just thriving in the chaos. I want the House of Black to have some kind of spooky like kill room in the back where like maybe Malachi's like just sat there meditating and like, I don't know, does a murder on like one of the Young Bucks or both.
Black Six everywhere.
Black Six, Nick Jackson. Have Julia Hart do spooky stuff. United Empire just there to hoss everybody about.
Yeah.
I feel like Dralistico and the Young Bucks and possibly Utah are going to have a really bad time here. Maybe Kyle Fletcher as well, because even though he's tall, he's quite slender. Whereas the rest are just like murderers.
Thick, murderous men.
Yeah, obviously, anytime Pac's in something, there's going to be some kind of murder. Pac and Roosh, yes, please.
Yes. Fucking hell, two of the angriest men going.
Yeah, Blackpool Combat Club, they're just going to do like whatever the fuck they want.
Will there be a bloodletting from Mox?
Oh, I foresee that Mox will be bleeding within a minute of this match.
Just on the entrance?
My initial plan was like, because like the Home Bucks and Blackpool Combat Club, the Elite and Blackpool Combat Club are feud at the moment. And it's kind of like Hangman and Mox are like the sort of like antagonizers of it all.
Right.
I feel like as Mox is entering, Hangman can just like smash a bottle over his head or something, and then that starts the fight.
Right. Perfect.
Just brawling through the crowd. I'd have the house retain because we don't need another team to kind of win this. We can just have absolute bedlam.
Everyone can look good coming out of this, whether they win or lose.
Yeah. And also, like, Anarchy in the Arena was genuinely one of my matches of the year last year. It was absolute nonsense in the best way.
Yeah.
So anytime AEW do matches like this, it's just it's like a home run every time, isn't it? Like, they've never done a bad one. Like, even me and Big Tasty were talking yesterday about the first Stadium Stampede when they had like
during the pandemic.
Yeah, when you had the spot like in that like bar where Hangman and Kenny like toasted like the milk and the whiskey, and like after like murdering Jake Hager and like Hangman did the buckshot over the bar.
Yeah,
just like they've got so much like freedom to play with. What if they go into like one of the press box or something, and
VIP like, box or something at Wembley?
the press box and Malachi like sacrifices Louis Dangoor to the Dark Gods. Like the possibilities are fucking endless. It's so good. So yeah, that's got to be on there, isn't it? It's got to be.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Fantastic.
What better way to kind of not sort of like calm the crowd down, but sort of keep the crowd on like a low heat, so they're still hot, but they're not like worn out.
Reduced to simmer.
The AEW Tag Team Casino Battle Royal. Now,
oh fuck about.
They've already done this, and normally it's the women's Casino Battle Royal they do at All Out, All In. However, I felt like I could do a bit more of a compelling story by doing it this way.
Okay.
Because it bleeds into something that happens later on as well.
Okay.
So obviously, Casino Battle Royal, 21 team Battle Royal is the Joker, which is like the sort of like wild card entrance. Usually it's like a debut or a surprise return or something. I think Hangman's been the Joker twice, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. So I've got the Guns 2.0, the Acclaimed, Evil Uno and Stu Grayson, Silver and Reynolds, Butcher and the Blade, Big Bill and Lee Moriarty, Top Flight, provided Dante's fit because he had a horrific ankle injury. The Kingdom, the Righteous, Jericho Appreciation Society's Sammy Guevara and Daniel Garcia, Men of the Year, because they've been teasing they're going to come back, and yes, please.
Yeah.
Workhorse Men, Gates of Agony, The Boys, because why not? The Varsity Athletes, the Trustbusters, A.R. Fox and Blake Christian, and then what people think is the Joker, the Hardys.
Oh.
Because they've sort of been teasing that Jeff's going to come back. Obviously, provided Jeff is good and well to do so.
Yeah.
And also, like, just think of the pop they got when they come back at WrestleMania. Imagine that. Imagine the pop they get if they come out in the Casino Battle Royal.
Yeah.
You know what would be slightly bigger than that?
Go on.
If the Jokers were just a bit grizzled.
Oh boy.
So at time of recording, GYV have requested their release from WWE.
Oh, can you imagine?
About the wealth of tag teams they could work with in AEW and Ring of Honor alone is palpable.
It's a disgusting spoil of riches.
Yeah, it's an embarrassment of riches they've got right there. Now, if they debut in Wembley, a UK team, and then win the Casino Battle Royal,
yeah,
that's exciting.
That's huge.
Yeah, we don't know if they've had it granted, but obviously they have requested it. And if they do get it granted, it's a 30-day non-compete, which means
be well enough in time for it.
More than. And I know a lot of people probably be like kind of like salivating at the idea of, oh, where's GYV going to show up? I'd hold fire and do it here.
Yeah,
just surprise everybody. And yeah, that'd just be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, man.
And
love
after that,
love that.
After that, I've got the AEW Women's World Championship, Jamie Hayter against Kyrie, because just a super stiff Stardom style. Give them 25 minutes to just knock lumps out of one another. Jamie Hayter is outstanding. She's one of the best wrestlers in the world, not just women's wrestlers. The pop she's gonna get in Wembley is gonna be one of the biggest of the night.
Yeah.
It's gonna be going off, especially when the music hits and it's like fucking Wigan Pier.
Yeah, man. All about that.
Everyone's gonna be raving, everyone's gonna be fucking made up she's there. And then she's gonna haterade the actual soul out of Kyrie. She's gonna hit Kyrie so hard she's gonna think she's in that weird triad faction in Lucha Underground. Like, and that's not to say like that's like kind of discrediting Kyrie. Like, Kyrie is one of the best wrestlers on the planet also. Like, this is an absolute fucking dream match for me.
Yeah.
Like, just go watch a match that she had with Mercedes Moné a couple of weeks ago. At time of recording, I believe that show's about to go on YouTube for free.
Get on it.
On New Japan's YouTube. But yeah, she's excellent, criminally underutilized in WWE. Came back to Japan with a chip on her shoulder and just shown why she's so fucking good.
Yeah.
She had a banger at Wrestle Kingdom as well. It was only like 5 minutes, but it was just 5 minutes of her beating the living fuck out of Mayu Iwatani. Yeah, it's just going to be stiff as fuck, and I'm going to enjoy the hell out of it.
Best elbow drop in the business.
Yeah, definitely.
Bar none.
Yeah, but Hayter retains here.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I think that they need to keep they need to keep the belt on Jamie, so she's about to break Britt's record, and that's when Britt can turn on it.
Nice, makes sense.
That's and then we've got Jamie and Britt feuding, which is going to be awesome in itself because they're just two of the best women in Ring of Honor in AEW.
Yeah.
Right, you ready for the semi-main event?
Oof, am I?
I say semi-main event, like I'd like to think this is kind of like Fully Loaded, where there's 3 main events, and the trios title was one because it's Stadium Stampede. Yeah. This is one, and then the World Championship match is one. So this for the AEW Tag Team Championships, FTR defending against the Golden Lovers.
Oh, fucking hell!
Kota Ibushi has made it damn clear he wants to be on this show.
Yeah.
Why not just put the Golden Lovers going straight after the tag titles? FTR.
I was going to say, I was like, you've gotten right to this point, and we've not had Omega yet. I was like, have you not got him on the go? And then here we are.
Yeah. Kenny was always going to be in a marquee match on this. Don't worry. Yeah, I think FTR and Kenny had really good chemistry when they did the Kenny and Hangman match against FTR, where FTR won the tag titles. I'd Kota Ibushi in this. What can possibly go wrong? It's going to be great.
A lot of nakedness is probably going to happen. I've heard he's a fan of just
like getting his ass out. Like,
it's like watching Magic Mike live.
Yeah,
Tasty will be fine with that.
Tasty will love it. And I'd have FTR retain.
Really?
I feel like, because it seems like Blackpool Combat Club and the Elite are going to be feuding for a while.
Okay.
I feel like they could get involved. Also, FTR have been teasing doing the Elite versus FTR and Punk. So
Oh, wow.
this could be how CM Punk returns. Because
Okay.
let's face it, CM Punk's going to be on this fucking card somewhere.
He will, won't he?
He's one of the biggest names they've got. They're not going to fucking leave him off, regardless.
Oh, joy.
Best for business, mate. Come on.
Yeah. Sure.
But yeah, I'd have FTR retain, and I'd have the winners of the AEW Tag Team Casino Battle Royal GYV stare them down after the match.
Oh,
because yes, please.
Yes,
that'll be good.
Fucking please. We never got that when they were both in WWE, did we? Oh,
nope.
Oh, that'd be outstanding.
It would.
Yeah,
it would be very good.
Big fan of that.
And then in the main event
time, what we got?
We've got defending his world championship, MJF versus Adam Cole, baby.
Oh,
because so I feel like they teased it like in a sense where Adam Cole was the guy who announced the show.
Right.
He was the guy who said it's in Wembley.
Yeah.
Now that's surely like planting the seeds to make you think, oh, Adam Cole versus MJF would be good.
Yeah.
MJF and Britt have been kind of like firing barbs at each other on Twitter every now and again. And Adam Cole's like, don't make me get involved in this.
Ah, okay.
We're
going there.
Yeah, and like you just got to see when Adam Cole came back like last week and wrestled his first match back against Daniel Garcia. Everyone was so fucking excited to see him back.
Oh, I bet.
Because he's one of the best wrestlers around. He's fantastic.
No doubt. Yeah.
I have not chosen a winner for this because I've got two potential solutions.
Go on.
So, if MJF wins after the match, Punk returns, stares down MJF.
Okay.
We know usually from like, well, just from pay-per-views in general, AEW likes to kind of have like a big debut to sort of like, or a big debut, or a big return to close off the show. Like,
yeah.
At All Out last year, before CM Punk lost his mind and started eating muffins and punching people, he had that like MJF returned. He had that stare down, that really cool like bit where it was Tony Khan like calling MJF and like the voicemail going, "Look, I really need you back. Like, you need to come. You need to come back. I need you back," sort of thing.
Yeah.
Year before, obviously, it was Danielson and Adam Cole, so it makes sense. A year on from MJF returning and staring down with Punk, and the match we never got, a Full Gear 2022.
Yeah.
To CM Punk coming back, staring down MJF, and potentially being the guy that dethrones MJF. Potentially. I don't think he will be. I think there's much better picks, which is another video for another day. Me and Big Tasty talk about this all the time, so it's probably on a past podcast. The other option is the one I kind of want to happen more.
Right.
Which is Adam Cole wins.
Okay.
Because first of all, the Adam Cole baby at Wembley is going to tear a hole in space and time itself.
Fucking right, it will.
The pop if Adam Cole wins the AEW World Championship at Wembley will be incredible.
On the Richter scale.
You know what would be a little bit more incredible? If Drew Galloway debuted and attacked Cole after he won the belt.
Wow. Like in
Cole
NXT.
did when Drew won the belt in NXT, yeah.
Fucking A, man. That's a callback. That's wonderful.
You know who else is potentially going to be a free agent around that time?
Who?
Drew Galloway.
Oh, shit. Of course.
He's having contract disputes with WWE at the moment. There's every possibility he could request his release because he's unhappy. Not that they grant it, but, this is why it's fantasy. Yeah, I think
amazing.
I don't know who's going to win that. I feel like MJF probably would because they're doing the whole bidding war of 2024, and it's basically mirroring like the Punk Money in the Bank thing where Punk won the WWE title and his contract expired. I feel like they're probably gonna drag that like MJF out with that belt until at least January.
Oh wow, that long?
Like they have that like the New Year's Bash show, don't they? Where they'll usually have they'll usually have like a big marquee match on there. So I feel like that could be a good time to dethrone MJF.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
Or just like, because sometimes they do it on like the 30th of December or something like that. Just do it around then. Builds a bit of tension, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But
Very
also,
nice.
I think Adam Cole winning is something people really want to see.
100%. Me and you both.
It's a win-win, really. Whoever wins that match for AEW. Yeah. That's
is a fantastic fucking card.
Tony
I love the sound of that.
If you're watching this, book some of that.
Book some of that.
I'd even just take the Stadium Stampede match. That's like the one match on the card. I'm like, I really want that. Book
that into or speak it into existence.
Yeah, but anything on that card, please, Tony.
Absolutely cracking.
Yeah, thank you.
Good stuff. Thank you. That was awesome. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Let us know what you thought in the comments below. Let us know your predictions, your fantasy booking for this. And you can do that obviously right here on YouTube underneath. Or if you're listening audibly, you can just do it on any of our social media outlets. Let us know on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube at Untitled Wrestling Podcast, or Twitter, Twitch, and Discord at Untitled Rest Pod. We'll see you soon for more of these and more good stuff. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.